Hello and welcome to Sand. So this will be one of the last games I'm covering as part of the Steam Next Fest. Actually had access to this about a week or so ago and did a bit of a test run on it and was not overly impressed. There's been some patches since. I managed to get some people on to, well, I managed to coerce my beautiful assistant once again, Michael. Hello.
Oh,
You're cut off in the middle of that because you yelled too loud down your microphone. I'm assuming Discord's noise cancellation thingy kicked in. Serves you right. He's here.
hello.
But yeah, it's we're going to be having a look at it today. I figured I'd cover it since it seems to be quite popular in the next fest. I've got my gripes about it, which is why I wasn't originally going to do a video, but I've kind of kind of convinced myself into it. Before I invite Mike in, we'll just have a quick look at the blueprint system. So part of the whole point of Sand is to put it simply to kind of wrap it up in a nutshell for you. It's Sea of Thieves, but on sand. So it's Sea of Sand or Sand of Thieves, however you want to call it. It's basically that. It's Sea of Thieves if it were essentially in a desert with no water. And instead of a boat, you have this giant, what we call a trampler. It's basically a big ass mech, as you can see here. So this is one that I've designed. I've created a blueprint for it, and we can go and edit it. And I will start with some of the really good stuff. The mech customization on this is actually quite top notch. As you can see here, we can move around it. It looks like it's sat on top like a little blueprint thing on top of the desk, so you can kind of see, it's a nice bit of aesthetic to it, but then it's highly customizable. Like I can drag these parts out, drop them in. You can press the toggle upper layers, edit wall connections, so you can see how your mech's all laid out on the internal, so you can see the doors, the ladders. You can toggle whether or not you want a ladder to be there, if you want a door to be there. So for example, I could literally toggle this ladder on here and there'd just be a ladder just dropping down from the bottom of the mech there if you want. But you can do that sort of thing, see all the interior, and each of these rooms, by the way, does give us some kind of bonus. So we've got a cargo compartment there, that'll have some shelves in, that'll allow us to store more things. And you've got these crew compartments. Those are where you respawn. You need to have at least one for each person. So this is a two-person crew compartment. We've got another one over at the other side here. We've got some maneuvering engines to keep our speed on high. You can see up here, this gauge displays how maneuverable the mech will be. That shows your weight limit and how much of it's being used. You have to keep within those parameters. And obviously, you've got your gun decks, and you need a steering room, you need a reactor, and if we go to the compartments here, you can see the different sized chassis that have different tonnage requirements. And then you've got your essentials like steering decks, crew rooms, reactors. Then moving into stuff like utility areas and combat stuff. Then extra bits that you can put on the decks and little balconies to just make it look nice. All of these, for the most part, do serve a purpose, and all of them carry weight. And generally speaking, a big mech with lots of stuff costs a lot to build. So you kind of want to keep within your weight limit. I would have loved to have put maybe like another cargo container here instead of just a supporting corridor, but didn't have the weight limit, for example, so we get what we can afford. And again, just it's very much like, I mean, you've not really messed with the mech building system, have you, Mike? Yeah,
No, no,
yeah, yeah.
I've
It's
not
yeah,
touched it
it's
really.
yeah, it's very much like I'd say it's most like Starfield, but
Mm.
you can actually see the interiors and what it's gonna look like and how everything's gonna path and so on. There are requirements again, weight limit and cost and things. And you also have to be able to path all the way around the ship. You can't have any like like disconnected corridors or anything, so everything has to connect up. But it's very much like Starfield's shipbuilder, but again, you can see the internals of it, which makes it actually better than it, which makes you wonder what the hell Bethesda are doing with that thing. They've been shown up by an indie team. Right. I'll get you invited, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've invited a Michael. You create your character much like in Sea of Thieves at the moment. I don't know if that's going to be just a demo thing, or if they're eventually going to try and, have cosmetics and that sort of thing. With the way things are going in gaming these days, it wouldn't surprise me if there's like proper character customization, then like a cosmetic shop or something at launch, but yet to be seen what they'll be doing on that side of things. Um, so at the moment, very much like Sea of Thieves, you just pick a character at the start, and that's who you're stuck with. Um, you can randomize them a bit until you get a good one, but we've each got ours here. Mike looks like a Canadian Mountie or something,
Mm, mm.
and I went for someone who had a jacket, just so I looked a bit more like a captain. Right. So we can pick our mech. So we could pick a smaller one or a large one here. What do you think? Should we go small or large?
Um, that one looks alright.
The smaller one.
Yeah.
Right. So, cannon's on the left side, so we want to keep enemies on our left in this thing, because it only has the one cannon. And we'll start planning our expedition. Right. So, when you get into it, we can both add supplies to this. So, yeah, we'll both add a couple of guns, and we probably want to add a bit of ammo. Ammo is fairly plentiful, so, we can just add a stack full. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm going to take a jacket. And when you click to take something, it does take just like a full stack. So I can take an energy rod, and then I could take some shells, for example. We don't need all. Well, I'll remove my shells then, because we probably don't need more than 40. Because that's ammo for the cannon, remember.
Going by the other time, maybe.
We won't speak of that. Right. So basically what we've got here, we've got 2 pistols, we've got 500 pistol rounds, 20 canned food. You put this in the crew quarters, and it essentially acts as your respawns for that game. Each time we respawn, we'll use one. Reminds me a lot of the system used in a game called Foxhole, similar to that, but I've got a smuggler's jacket, so I'm going to put that on. Gives me a little bit of extra armor, and we've got an energy rod in case we need basically more fuel for the reactor as we go, and we've got 40 rounds for our cannon. Pretty good, I think I'm happy with that. Then we click the ready button, and if we're both ready, it'll start loading us in. Oh, we're straight in as well this time. Last time it took us a good 10 minutes to get into a game, but I'm assuming since the next fest has started now and the demo's open to everyone, everyone's just on. So it will probably just low people in the queue last time, a low number of people, but
Yeah, it seems to take an age, didn't it?
Right, we'll get started. Once it's loaded us in here. We'll spawn in next to the mech.
Oh, see if I can remember these controls.
I think it mostly comes up with prompts on the screen for it, so it shouldn't be too bad. It'll probably stutter for a moment here while we're just loading in.
Oh,
That doesn't look good over on our side. Oh yeah, we want to be out of here.
what's happening?
Behind us. I see 2 dead mechs and another mech with 3 crew on it, salvaging them. We don't want to be here.
So we're gonna die straight away.
So this kind of brings up my first gripe that I have with the game. Every time I've played this, for some reason, and I don't fully know why, it seems to spawn you in close by to combat. Oh, and every other thing that I'm pressing is doing the wrong thing here. Contextual. Right, hold this to close it. Right. There we go. So, let's get ourselves started up here. We have to turn on the reactor. And then we have to... Oh, it's laid out slightly different, this, isn't it? Go out to the front. You probably want to be on the front, Mike. Let's take our jacket, take one of these pistols, and take a stack of ammo. We probably also want to take this. And we're going to need to put it in the crew compartment. In the fridge. Although I think it might give you some starting food, I'm beginning to suspect me. Crap. Hang on. This, another gripe. You're gonna notice a theme here. Yeah, so rather than putting the food in there, it's put, right, okay, we're just gonna have to take this in our hands. Are we being fired upon? I'm gonna get us moving.
I want to know why it spawned us in a game where there's already
Two
stuff
people
happening. 2 people dead. And a team running towards us.
There's a team running toward us, you say?
I don't know, I can't see it a minute.
Yeah, it's just fog, isn't it? I hear explosions though.
I think there was someone shooting at us. I need to get a gun. Where have you put the guns?
They're in the box.
Yeah.
Right.
Give me a gun. Take.
Yeah, the inventory management is very dodgy at the moment. Oh god, I don't see a way out of all these rocks, and it's just too foggy. This can be another thing as well. You can find yourself just trying to constantly navigate the area. You think it'd be nice and easy to cross places in sand, but certain areas aren't just sand. It's very, very rocky, like this. And so you're trying to navigate between all these crags and things in the rocks. And you can end up just getting... Worst case scenario, you can absolutely get stuck on all this crap. Another interesting thing that happens is while you're moving on the ship, everyone's animations, like we've had... It's not doing it now. But if you go and like stand by that railing, Mike, that usually causes it to, yeah, glitch out. Yeah, there you go. Now just move away from it. So there's a lot more people definitely now that the demo's open on Next Fest. I can't imagine having like a quiet looting experience on this anymore. Right, I'm guessing we're probably going to get shot down in this. Let me see if we can navigate somewhere. Let's have a look at our map. Really press my face on it. Because yeah, this is how you have to read it. It completely prevents you from doing anything else. God forbid I just have this like next to the control panel. You know, so I'm able to read and see where we're going. Okay, we're heading to Strudel, I think, from the looks of this. I think that's what, over on that big rock over there with a few buildings, I think that's what that is. So we're heading toward a town at the moment. If we're happy with that.
Yeah.
Do you want to take some of the shells out of the boxes and put them on the cannon?
Done it.
Alright, good, good. Is the cannon loaded and ready as well?
Yeah.
Like, is one of them loaded into the cannon? Okay.
Good bit. I clicked reload and watched myself put one in.
The weather's getting better. It looks like we're hitting daytime. Looks like we've hit dawn. I will say, even at the moment, it's running on medium graphics because we've had some performance issues. Lots of stuttering and things. Granted, it is like a technical playtest. You know, it's meant to be like an alpha, is this? Not really out serious just yet. But even still, pretty good looking, isn't it? Or at least I think so.
It's okay. I'm getting a lot of stuttering. I don't know if it's just the movement of the mech thing or what. My frames are not great.
Oh, I just got some stuttering just now. Yeah. Oh, is this rock too big to go over, or... Oh. The steering, by the way, if you're wondering, you don't just, like, use WASD and hold down and things like that. No, you... For example, pressing W will set your speed forward by 1. So you've got... Your speed can be forward 1, forward 2, neutral, or reverse 1. So it's kind of, you don't just hold it down to go or anything. You set it to a speed, and it moves constantly at that speed until you set it back. Same with steering and strafing. That's another thing as well. With it being a walker, you can strafe as well. It does mean that it's difficult to stop as well. You've got a fair bit of momentum, so you don't just stop on barely any notice. You need a moment to be able to stop. Right, we might be close enough soon to actually get up to the city and get looting. Oh yeah, I'm getting some stuttering and things now. I'm going to drop it to 1 speed while we're moving forward, because I don't trust myself not to crash it while it stutters. Neither of us have poor graphics cards as well, do we? I mean, Mike's running it on a Nvidia 780 Super, aren't you? And I've got a AMD 6900 XT. I think we might be able to hop down from here coming up. We might be able to kind of hop down here and get into Strudel. What do you think? If I park up like in this bit here. Right. I'll go and get the first bit of looting done, just kind of show off how you go about it, and then I'll let you do it from that point.
Start alarm box triggered, map update and delivery destination and box position is revealed.
I think they have a similar system to that on Sea of Thieves, but yeah, someone on the map has grabbed an alarm box and their position is now being sent to everyone. So the way looting goes is basically you go and you find yourself an empty box, they're usually littering the place, and then you go around and grab everything you can, throw it in the box, and when your box is getting full, you take it back. So I've found some shotgun shells, not that we need shotgun shells, but I've found some. Nothing's highlighted as well, there's no like highlight on the loot, you just kind of have to keep an eye out for things, which is a bit... I'm not a massive fan of it. Looks like someone over there is extracting. That's how you extract. You go to like a radio station and after a few moments, once you've called in for it, it takes about a minute. Like a big ship comes down. Oh god, I'm stuck. There we go. I'm out. And the ship will just whisk you away with your trampler. I'm not having a load of luck here, Mike, I'll admit.
Yeah.
I've
That's
found...
something that gripes me is when you go onto the controls on the settings, there's nothing.
Yeah, that's another thing at the moment. If you're wanting to play this with controller, which is... I know Sea of Thieves allows that, this does not. So don't expect any control support. If you're wanting to do any kind of key rebinding, you can't. Again, it is a demo. Presumably this is just early days, but still, you know, looking at it objectively here, giving us first impressions and that, yeah. I mean, it is something that's missing that shouldn't be. Okay, I've found an old shed. There seems to be a lot more stuff in here. I've found a lot of various, like, ammos. Got stuck in the floor again. My box is nearly full.
Stuck in the floor again. I feel like I should be on there looting with you.
Well, no, one of us needs to be looking after the ship, don't they? Like, you get on like the crow's nest bit and just keep looking around. I'm full, by the way, I'm coming back. Just keep like looking around to make sure that there aren't like mechs coming in, because if there are, you need to yell at me to come back. Is that one behind? Is that moving toward, do you think?
There's one over there. I shall see what it does.
Oh, that's the point as well. We should, we forgot to do this, but... Oh, for God's sake, I've climbed up the ladder and I've just fallen immediately down it. It didn't, like, pull me onto the ship properly. I think it's because it's, like, at a slight slant or whatever, anyway. I'm up. There is fall damage too, by the way, in case you're wondering. So if you were to fall off the ship like that and it were a longer distance, you would be screwed. So the way you identify ships coming in, and I'll grant them this, a lot of roguelikes allow people to just kind of like get the jump on you. This you can see them from miles away. It's nice playing, not roguelikes, sorry, extraction games. Lots of extraction games don't let you know when enemies are coming, but on this you can literally see them for absolutely miles. Quite clearly as well. And everyone starts with a pair of binoculars, so very obvious. So you know when there's other players about. Generally, if it's a big plume of smoke, that's usually a wreck. If it's a more narrower one, that's usually coming from a smokestack, and the big giveaway is if it starts moving. So we've probably got a wreck here, there's two wrecks over in the distance, and then there's that one there, which is probably responsible for those wrecks. And you can see more in the distance where they probably are. If you want to avoid being seen while you're looting, a good tip is to, as we've done here, turn off your reactor. It does mean that you can't just get up and go as fast as you might like, but it does mean that no one can see you here as without actually getting eyes on and seeing you directly. Do you want to have a go and loot, Mike? And I'll watch.
I can do.
You
Don't
can
seem
have
to
a
be
go.
heading to us.
Yeah, while you're doing that, it'll give me a chance to just kind of go over some more game and stuff and some issues. So,
Jumpty, jumpty,
so
jumpty,
as you've probably noticed while we've been looting, you've got very limited inventory space, which isn't necessarily a massive problem. You know,
Can I
it's not.
take a box with me, or is there just plenty on there to grab?
I'd just grab one when you get there. This big container on our, well, this big shed on our right, I think had a few spare.
Okay.
I'm gonna put some of my extra crap in here. I've got some extra ammo and some things like that. But you've probably noticed as well, a lot of the things you loot, it tends to be biased towards not parts. It tends to be biased towards ammo. Now, I don't know if this is because it's like a playtest and specifically it is a PvP playtest. So maybe that's why they're not dishing out as many parts.
PvP, but we've not barely seen anyone yet.
Well, we have. We've just been avoiding them, haven't we?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, there's 2 wrecks and a mech over there. I think they've gone to salvage those mechs, by the way. I think that's what they're doing. Um,
I can't find a chest, but I'm here.
but yeah, so
I got stuck.
just jump if you're stuck. Do a little
Right,
jump.
got
It
out.
tends to
I
get
got
you
out.
out. But yeah, there's
Ooh, a
with the
shotgun.
with the inventory, there's like I said, there's definitely issues around you not being able to hold much. Boxes are recommended basically for going back and forth between grabbing things. I'm surprised there isn't some kind of like dumbwaiter or a little crane or something that you could load things onto and then bring them up onto the top. Like I'd go for either a little dumbwaiter or a little crane and winch system you could sort of lower down, like a little cargo lift for people or something like that. That would be quite nice, and I'm genuinely surprised there isn't something like that. Um, but because one thing I've noticed is because it's very much biased towards ammo and weapons and things at the moment. Again, not certain if that's just because of a playtest. It might be. You can't really tell without asking the devs.
Good
Um,
chance, I think that if it's
Probably,
we've been a
yeah.
PvP, we've been a PvP one.
But
Probably a good
valuables
chance.
and yeah, but valuables and parts are very hard to come by. So creating your own tramplers, while you can blueprint them out, actually purchasing and building them is very difficult. We'll come out of this and you'll see the absolutely pitiful amount we come out with when we extract, and yeah, we'll come out and we'll be nowhere near being able to build a mech. And I will point this out. Your mechs are currently, it is permadeath on the mechs, so to speak. That is, you lose the mech when you get blown up. The mech's gone, right? And in addition to being gone, you then have to rebuild it. It costs loads of resources. We're talking thousands of money and hundreds of resources that you find. So you saw me pick up like a few mechanical parts and pneumatic parts then. Did I just get... Did I hear a gunshot?
I thought I had a gunshot.
Hmm. I'm not seeing anything. Right. But yeah. Losing a mech is a massive deal. Um, you're probably not going to get it back. And there aren't starting ones for you when you've run out of them. I'm sure that sounded like something smacking something then.
Yeah, there's something. There's a guy here. I'm looking at. I can't ping. What's ping?
I don't know. There's literally no tutorial, so that's another point. There's no tutorial. You can't see what the key bindings are, because it doesn't let you rebind and things. I might be tempted to just get back to the ship, Mike, and we'll maybe get a wiggle on.
There's somebody, I think, parking up at the other side of this area.
Right, then get back to the ship and we'll get a wiggle on. There is an extract to... where are we looking? Yeah, we're looking at it earlier. It's over that way. We could probably come up with an extract plan.
But what if we also go and kill them?
Fair point.
I'd practically filled that box anyway. I only had 2 spaces left.
Good, good. I'm turning the reactor on. We'll get a move on.
I've got a shotgun without any shotgun shells.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Always gotta love that when they
Aha.
don't put the ammo for the gun next to the gun. But yeah, it's... So losing tramplers and things is a massive deal. Did you fire a flare? Something went red or something then on my screen. It might just be the sun glaring in my face, I don't know.
It'll be that trampler.
Okay, that's...
Where is it? Oh, it's above us. He's there. If you look behind, you can see red smoke above. He's literally like there.
Yeah, we probably went out of that at the right time.
Oh, he's shooting him above there still.
Maybe that's how you ping, Mike. Fire your flare gun. Right. But yeah, one thing I will say, because of the lack of, like I said, parts and things, losing a trampler, you can straight up softlock yourself out of the demo by losing all your tramplers. Like, if you lose several tramplers in a row, I think you have to create a new character or something to start again. And I don't think you can delete characters. Yeah. I don't think you can delete characters either, so I think you literally can softlock yourself.
He wants the smoke.
Is it just a guy? Can you see him from here? So I'm gonna say, if you want to just like fire a cannon over at him and just splat him, we could do. But I'm a bit worried that he's like trying to signal a mech in to come toward us.
I think it's just one guy running about looting and he's just seen us and thought he'd fire a flare. But what's he firing a flare for? We could literally just turn around and go kill him.
This is another thing as well that I'm just going to get into while we're kind of on the topic. So you're probably thinking, why don't we just splat him? And we possibly could, but at the moment, the... how to put it? The close quarters combat... that is the combat between characters is very sloppy and kind of a toss-up as to whether or not you're going to actually hit and kill people, isn't it, would you say, Mike?
Oh god, the other day when I was shooting cannon and we were literally next to him and I was hitting a house about 200 miles away.
Well, not just the aiming on the cannons while you're moving, which that's the point, by the way, because your kind of animations bob about and glitch out while you're doing things as the mech moves. Yes, you can easily like fire and it goes nowhere near where you've aimed because your character animation's glitching out, and yeah, it can be weird. Like where the server thinks you are and where you actually are can be different. But what I was getting at is when someone actually...
It sounds like we're just totally just like pooing on this game.
Oh, I've got a list, right. So if you let me get round to it, so crew combat is basically what I'm getting at. So when they board you, right? So I'll give you a bit of a rundown on it. How it works is someone decides to board your mech for whatever reason. Theirs is blown up, or they just saw you while they were looting in the same city and they come and board your mech, whatever. Animations glitch out while the mech is moving. Do you want to quickly rummage through this?
Yeah.
There's another couple shipwrecks around here. Try not to kill yourself when you drop off. I wouldn't recommend doing what Mike did and breaking your ankles as you fall.
I lost half a bar.
Anyway,
I will have you know, so it wasn't too bad.
anyway,
There's
as
nothing here.
you sure just double check if they're out in them boxes or trunks are out.
No.
Has it been picked clean? Right, we'll go. They're still firing those flares over in this direction. But yeah, so because your animations glitch out when it's moving, are you on by the way?
No. It didn't grab.
Are you on?
I'm on ladder.
But yeah, because the animations glitch out as you move.
Oh, it's just glitched out and I've fallen off.
For Christ's sake, get on the damn thing, Mike. Get on board, get on the deck, and then say you're on. Don't say you're on while you're on the ladder. You know what the animations are like. So yeah, because it glitches out when it's moving, if someone boards your mech and you start trying to shoot at each other, your bullets can just straight up phase through each other and you're both bobbing around and like crouching repeatedly or bouncing off the walls.
I'm here.
It's not exactly great close quarters combat, to put it mildly. As a result, it's best not engaging in it. And the worst bit is let's say that you actually die. On Sea of Thieves, you just go like to David Jones' locker, you respawn after a moment, you get back on your ship, and you've got your gun, right? On this, you respawn in the crew quarters, which could be destroyed or on fire, or you might run out of respawns or whatever. But let's say that someone's boarded you, you drop all your items when you die, including your gun and your ammo. Someone can very easily run up to your mech, just one person, run to the mech, grab the ladder, climb up. They need explosives to get through the doors, but the default mechs, you can actually hop over these railings onto the actual control deck here and just start shooting everyone and then just camp the crew quarters. So these are very badly designed. And they can absolutely camp the crew quarters until you run out of respawns or patience and just quit the game. And then they've got your trampler and they can literally steal it and run off with it and extract with it. Which is by far the most valuable thing you have. Right, we're at another wreck, Mike. Do you want to try this one? I can see some shiny stuff, so we should be okay with this. So you've got issues with that. So the actual close quarters combat as a result is kind of atrocious and you should never use it. And if you allow people to get on your mech, they can absolutely just steal it from under you and it's horrendous. And then they just camp you while you're trying to respawn and it's absolutely infuriating. A really bad system. Like honestly, I think that close quarters, things like that should just be a... I think there's more stuff on there if you've got any room.
Bull.
What?
Bull.
Bull or pull or what?
I said full.
Oh, you're full. Right.
Bull. Bull.
I like bull, pull, something, what? He's yelling something at me. I think he might have skipped a bit as he started talking. Are you going back for more or are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
You can go back for more. We're not waiting on it. There's nobody about if you want.
Right.
So yeah.
No health loss.
But yeah, as a result of that, it makes boarding actions quite potent for the boarders who are trying to go after you and that. So it can be quite the issue. You'd think that the mech would just like annihilate them, or you think you'd be able to pull your ladder up or something. Nope. So,
Ooh, blue flares over there now, as well as red.
yeah, you can change the colour of them when you fire them. It's a nice feature. Um,
There's
anyway,
not else down there now.
um, getting on to the actual combat of this, we'll see if we can. If we manage to extract out of this, we might just do a quick. Well, we probably won't go in again and try to get some combat shown off. But this is outside of combat. This is most of what the game is. It's very much like you're just going around looking for stuff. And occasionally you'll get fog rolling like this, which makes it impossible to see anything. I think in this little overhang over here by these rocks, there's some stuff I can see. Weirdly enough, though the loot doesn't glimmer when you're up close, which makes it harder to rummage through, from a distance you can see it glimmer, which makes no sense. You think it'd still do that when you got close, so that you could loot a bit more efficiently, but no. Just something it does when you're far away. Anyway. Do you want to go and grab this stuff when I stop?
Can do.
Might as well, haven't we? I think this will probably just be ammo and things, I'm guessing, because it looks like a little camp. I'll just turn this around while I'm waiting. I do like how they control this. It feels very tactile. I've got a little compass and all my gauges and everything. The repairing of your mech is quite good as well. You know, you get a little welder out and you have to weld the bits. Mind you, I will complain when you do actually break something on the mech, you have to hold your crosshairs on it, and while the mech's moving, it's nigh on impossible. Very difficult to make repairs on the go. In fact, I'd say it's extremely so. But yeah, getting onto the mech combat. So you just fire from the cannon. It takes absolutely ages to kill anything. And it's got high velocity. It's pretty... you can't aim this route, you know, there isn't like a zoom in button. You just kind of move it like this. And it goes more or less where you're aiming. There's very little drop. It's high velocity. You can kind of see. It's very long range. I'm not going to fire too much though. Rounds are scarce. As you saw when I went looting, we found like one bundle of those, which wouldn't be enough to even phase most crawlers. Is that everything that we've got?
Yeah.
Everything that's worth something, basically. Just gonna say I can see more, or is it not worth grabbing?
More?
There's more stuff, yeah. You didn't get it all. Can you see it's all glimmering a bit?
I don't know what that is.
It's a couple bits and bobs. I can see a mech on the very far horizon, firing flares up at. That you?
What, me?
The gunshots.
I didn't hear any gunshots.
Hang on, is that a glitch? Maybe because I'd zoomed the binoculars in on that mech, maybe I could hear what was happening on that mech. That's weird.
Can you hear it every time I zoom in on my binoculars?
I think they must have been shooting over there, but they're not shooting now, unless we were being shot at. But it sounded like a pistol or something in close range. It was very weird. But yeah, as you can tell, the game has bugs. It has issues. Uh, are we looting the rest of this stuff or not? You didn't give me a reply.
Oh, I thought you were going for it.
Well, I were going for it.
Thought you were, yeah.
No, I thought you were.
Uh,
I'm the
you go for
driver.
it.
I'm the lookout,
Uh,
and I'm the one who's talking on this. I need to. Right. Yeah. So the actual combat, it is. Yeah. The firing and stuff isn't bad. It's kind of reminiscent again of Sea of Thieves. You'd expect it to be so. Um, the main issues are that you have to you can like disable parts of the trampoline. I mean, really, you can disable loads of it. It even like blow the walls out on the different compartments. And disable compartments when all like the walls are completely blown out on them. You can repair them, but you can't get rid of the holes in the walls. So you can end up with like crew compartments, with, like holes in every wall, but just like a bed in the middle and a fridge. Um, But to destroy a trampler, you have to blow up this. You have to hit the reactor directly several times, which can be a pain. I dare not think about what trying to hit one of these would be like when people put on like armored ones or surround it by like compartments and things, so it's nigh on impossible to kill. Um, so you might get to the point in the game where people will just have like invincible tramplers practically, almost. That wouldn't surprise me. Um, but the actual combat is pretty good. Um, the main issues is that it just, like I say, it just takes so long to kill them that you're just circling each other for ages, and you'll usually end up going through most, if not all, of your ammo, and ammo is scarce, and that's the big problem. Like you're gonna run out of rounds before you run out of before the enemy runs out of health, most likely. And then you're going to be reliant on those dodgy boarding actions, which is why in a lot of combat you'll see people go straight for the boarding action sometimes. Like one of them might just grab a gun and run at your ship off of theirs to try and end things quickly because you just don't find enough ammo for the cannons. You seem to find way more small arms ammo than actual cannon ammo. Shall we move towards extraction and wrap it up? Shall we?
yeah, kinda.
How are we on the map? Where are we at? So we're kind of... There's one to our right here, isn't there? One sort of off to the right here. We'll move toward that. But yeah, I think with the way that the combat works, I would probably want, if anything, I would want a way of disabling them. Like Sea of Thieves, you can shoot like chained cannon shots and things to prevent people from moving and attack the sails and stuff. I feel like I could do with something like that. There is this like pressure system that... Oh, getting a bit of lag here. If it'll let me turn, avoid the rocks. How are we looking? We're pretty much heading straight toward the extract, aren't we? But yeah, it's... I feel like you'd want to be able to maybe like if you shot the legs, it should maybe disable their movement a bit. Because at the moment you can just run away from a fight like Benny Hill theme going and just get away practically. Because it's going to be hard. It's quite... As good as the ship combat is, because of the jittering on your aim and stuff... Oh, we are heading toward a walker there. They might be extracting. We might want to give them a minute. Let's get from behind these rocks so that we can just keep an eye on what distance they're at and if they're coming toward us. Yeah, I think they're extracting.
Hunt them down. Kill them.
I think they're at a yeah, they're at a contract thing there. There's 2 ships over there.
What do you mean 2 ships?
There's 2, sorry, 2 tramplers. Well, you know what I mean, 2 mechs. There's 2 of them. One that's got a smokestack coming out of it, and the other one hasn't. So I'm wondering what the hell's going on over that way. Where would I say the extract is? It's usually, you can see it with an antenna. I would say it's probably
And one
more
on both as well.
this way.
One's moving. Oh, it stopped moving now.
Maybe they're waiting for extraction.
Why is that where extraction is?
I think it's around there. As long as they're not heading toward us. I hope they're not camping the thing.
Could be.
I really hope they're not, because that's kind of scummy. There's people on board. You can see them running about. Looks like 2 smaller ones. It's not like a big trio one with like the full gun deck on top on either of them.
Have they made friends?
I don't know, to be fair. Right. But yeah, I think with the trampler combat, like I wouldn't mind seeing like the ability to like disable each other's legs, maybe, if you shot at the legs, or having like specialized like EMP rounds you can load that would slow movement or shut the reactor down or something if they hit the reactor to briefly stun them, essentially. Something like that. But yeah, I would like to see something like that. Because otherwise, at the moment, there's like just again with Sea of Thieves, you can disable the sails, they can take on water, you can keep hitting them to cause more leaks and sort of slow them and stop them. We'll know in a minute if they're leaving. But they're both just kind of sat around there. I wouldn't feel safe going for the extract around here with 2 of them parked around. I'd probably go for a different one. So we might have to turn about and go. It'll probably be like a 5-10 minute thing. But yeah. All that said, other than that, I mean, I think I've pretty much gone through everything. But yeah, with slowing them down and that and doing damage, like I said, just some EMP ammo or if you could shoot the legs to disable them or something like that, I think would be helpful. Another one final issue I would think is with solo play. Like, I mean, I think you'd probably agree with me, Mike, here. I don't think this is possible to play as a solo, is it?
Difficult.
I think, didn't Sea of Thieves literally add a ship in just for the sake of it being a solo ship?
Yeah, you got a solo ship so you could play solo, yeah.
Yeah. There isn't such a thing in this. You need someone to be manning the guns. There isn't like an auto turret that you just load ammo into or anything. Which you wish there was, but there isn't. So you can't really do this solo, and you kind of want someone on the lookout while you're looting. Okay, one of them started up again. I think they might be heading toward us. Or are they heading toward the extract? Right, we're either going to extract here, Mike, or we're going to be in a fight, one or the other.
Enough?
I think I see the radio. They're climbing up it, they're extracting. Maybe that other one's been abandoned.
Mm, maybe.
Right. I also get the vibe with like Sea of Thieves. Like the majority of the gameplay is just going to be kind of walking about like this and looting wrecks and probably not much action for the better part of like an hour. And then you just leave. And I
Well, that's
don't
what
know.
we've done.
Yeah. And the thing is as well though, because the tramplers are so expensive, it encourages you to do that as well.
I
That's
feel
the other
like
thing.
they've got to manage the economy a bit better. Now,
Yeah, we have been a PvP playtest. I'm not sure how much of this is going to be like. If I don't know if the economy is going to be like this, and I think that's going to be really a big part of what'll set like that'll be a big part of the balancing for the game.
how long does it take to extract? Ships only just come for it.
It's a minute. Once you get up those ladder and you call it, it's 1 minute.
Yeah, may as well just set off walking, I think. Take us a minute to get there.
It will. I'm hoping that other one doesn't suddenly spring to life and come in for us.
Oh, well, if it does, it does. You could go to that other one and you could do some shooting at it.
That that spaceship really jets out here when it wants to go, doesn't it? You have to get away from that railing. You are glitching the hell out. Thing is, it makes a bonk noise as you're doing it. So it's just like bonk, 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 bonk as you're going. I'm guessing it's been picked clean because they've gone to it, haven't they? So there's no point
I
us
think so.
investigating.
I wonder if they killed them.
I wonder if you could get on board and bring it with you and have a third trampler.
Could try it.
Nah, we'll be right. Get up that radio tower. Call us in. Oh, I think that might be... I think that's been shelled out. I think they've blown it up. I think I see holes in the side.
Mm.
It might be a wreck. But it's hard to tell. It might just be that it's in shadow.
What the hell's happened here?
What's happened with you? So yeah, to extract you just get to the top of this, you make a phone call. Yeah. ET phones home and we all
As if
get
it's
on
not
board.
tedious enough. Where do I make a phone call? There.
When you move this thing, there's a surprising amount of like wiggle to it, isn't there? Like it sways a lot as you move. So it's not like precise. Oh god, why? Like you can't make precision adjustments, can you? Hit the generator.
I fell. Oh.
Extraction blocked.
mean something is...
There isn't another person nearby, is there?
I didn't see another person.
But as you can see, you'd think that this would kill them at this point, but no. Like, we're hitting that reactor, I think, just about.
No, it's not. What?
What? What did you do?
Well, it's not extracted us, has it? So now we've got to go back up there. What were that extraction blocked about?
Well, I guess extraction's blocked. Right, let me grab where are the shells? Open this. Is it calling?
Yeah. I ain't got to the top yet.
Because I'm wondering, do we need to go and blow this mech up on us left? Is that what the issue is?
Well, it's done with it extracted, alright.
Yeah. Yeah, it just says ship arriving. Maybe it's because I was shooting. I'll stop shooting.
Oh, fell.
Right. I don't know, is there anything you think we could add to what I've said already? Is there any more, do you think, or have we covered it all?
I think
I think that's comprehensive, don't
covered
you?
it all for my part.
I think that everything that I've said, as much as it sounds like, you know, you'd think that I really just like the game, I have been watching, like, footage, like the trailers and stuff for this for a while, and eagerly awaiting it. I've watched, like, the gameplay demos and stuff as it's been going toward the playtest and all this stuff.
There
Yeah,
is, like,
it, yeah,
there is gonna be...
it must have been because I was shooting that.
There is gonna be, like,
Ouch.
AI to kill in the proper game, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, that's the point. There will be like AI, but they're going to be guards at like the like cities and stuff. It's not going to be, oh my god, there's AI tramplers about. Unless they've got plans to add those maybe now. I don't know. Um,
So it's not just gonna be totally just empty and dull
mm,
with just people to kill. There is actually gonna be AI out there protecting where you're looting, so you can probably, you know, get
yeah.
in some...
I think that yeah, you'll see as well the loot that we've got now. Like you can kind of see, okay, we got. For some reason, it's given me all your spare shells that you put in the loot. By the way, so what it does, it takes the loot at the end of the game, right, and it just randomly divides it up between the participating players. So Mike brought some cannon shells, but it's given them to me for some reason. So Mike has lost 19 cannon shells. It's given him my fuel rod for some reason, and you can't change this. It's not like I can click and drag these. It just randomly assigns it. It's given me all of his... So good luck trying to play this with other people, even though that's how you're meant to do it, because, yeah, it's completely divvied this up in a weird fashion. We've got 300 and some crowns each, so 323 cash each. We've both got some random bits of, like, ammo for low caliber guns. Oh, it's given you all of my pistol rounds, Mike, for some reason. I don't
Awesome.
know why. I honestly, no
Awesome.
I bloody dear. And then it's given us both a few parts. So it randomly assigns it. Again, this is early. I'm assuming at some point there'll be some kind of screen where you decide who gets what. And so that sort of thing. I'd assume it at least gives you back the stuff that you brought with you, like the stuff that you contributed to the team stash at the start. Um, But as you can see, from that we got a couple of these parts, and we got like 300 cash. You start with 2.5 grand cash, so I've made like 700 and lost a trampler. But if I go to say like a hangar here, and I rebuild this trampler, you can see the costs of them here. The cheapest trampler will cost 1,315 mechanical parts. And yeah, after several runs, I've found 9 mechanical parts. And I've made 700 cash. That's taken like several runs. I think like about 3 or 4 runs. But I think I've only successfully extracted like 3 times. But you can imagine trying to put like if you lose several games in a row, you could easily softlock yourself out of the game. Like you would get to a point where you cannot afford to build a trampler. So I guess you'd have to like start. There'd have to be some kind of matchmaking queue where you can join as crew members to someone else's to earn some loot in the meantime. But yeah, I think if the economy doesn't get fixed, you'll often find yourself basically without a trampler most of the time, and you'll have to join other people because a couple losses in a row will completely cripple you. Um, but yeah, in spite of everything, I would still go as far as to say that the idea for this is excellent, and I love the customizability. I think one thing that Sea of Thieves, I mean, I think you would agree on this, Mike, wouldn't you? When we both played Sea of Thieves, it lacked customization, didn't it? It's like pick one of these like 3 or 4 ships or however many it was, and
It did. It
yeah,
did. I don't know what it's like recently. It's been a long time since I played on it.
like I
Uh,
was full on expecting it to be like, okay, you start with a tiny ship and you slowly upgrade and then add cannons and more sails and extra crew stations and like things and that on the ship and more tools and repair things and go and buy supplies and all this sort of stuff. And no, you just start in like a war galleon if you want. Just go with your entire crew in a massive galleon with a bajillion cannons and as much ammo as you can carry. It's like, granted, that didn't have the problem of, oh my god, I've lost my ship and everything I own has gone with it. All my net worth and the past 100 hours of grinding is gone. Thank Christ it didn't have anything like that, but still, even, in spite of that, it were a case of, yeah, but it felt like there were no progression other than cosmetic, wasn't it? Which I think is why we didn't go on it too much, isn't it?
mm,
Whereas with this, you can fully customize the compartments and move everything about, change things around. I would guess they're probably going to do some cosmetics and maybe sell you them as well. And probably maybe put some character customization in. I would be surprised if they didn't, but I'm not going to say they're going to. I don't, with no confirmation on that. But the potential of that, and if they can get the combat right and uh, change the loot economy, because a lot of these are just bugs and glitches and problems with the loot economy. I think a lot of it can be easily fixed in a playtest, and that's kind of the point to raise these issues in a playtest. But right now, it's a very rough around the edges experience, and that's what you're gonna get if you get into it. I think it's good for a couple of goes with friends just to try it, but beyond that, it's not. There's not like a game you can play here for a long amount of time in a literal sense, because all your tramplers will get blown up and then you'll be soft locked out. But I think if they get all of that, if they get all these problems fixed and get it going, there's definitely some really big potential here to kind of usurp Sea of Thieves in this sort of little subgenre type thing. And I think I'd love a game like this, like if it actually got going, because we love going on Battlefield in tanks and stuff and doing like little co-op vehicle stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it'd be right up our alley. Anyway, I think that's going to do it though. That covers just about everything. It's a good look at sand. Um, we got a few shots off, but we didn't get into any proper fights. But it is what it is. It's just how it goes sometimes. And when you're kind of incentivized to not get into fights, I mean, people don't get into fights with you because they realize they're gonna lose half their net worth if they lose. So there's kind of too high stakes at the moment. But thank you very much for watching. This has been the Sand demo. That pretty much rounds up my coverage of it for the next fest. Hopefully we'll see it in future next fests, or maybe some other playtest demos and things might come out. I don't know if they're going to keep this up after the next fest and maybe keep updating it until release. I don't know, or if this is just a limited time thing. So it may just disappear out your library over the weekend if you don't watch it. But for now, though, this has been the Sand demo, part of the Next Fest coverage. If you want to see more, you can subscribe on the channel. There's the notification bell. That'll keep you in the loop to other demos I'm covering this week. There should already be plenty out. They'll be going into the same playlist that you can access from my YouTube page, and watch them all there if you so wish. Thanks for watching though, and I hope to see you in future videos. I'll see you then.